Vending script TXT. How long until a vending machine pays for itself? Let us actually buy one and find out. A decent new snack and drink machine runs you about $4,000. You fill it with chips, soda, and candy. A bag of chips that costs you $1.20, you sell for $3. That is a markup most businesses would kill for. Well over 50% gross profit on almost everything sitting in the glass. Now park it somewhere with steady foot traffic, a busy office, a gym, a factory break room, and a machine like that might pull $600 a month, $1 and one snack at a time, without a cashier, without a lease, without a single employee. Take out the cost of the snacks, and you could be clearing a few $100s a month, around the clock, while you sleep, forever. So the math looks beautiful. The machine pays for itself in well under a year, and then it just quietly prints money for the rest of its life. This is the dream that sells hundreds of thousands of these machines every year. It is on every side hustle channel, in every get-rich-slow book, whispered as the easiest money there is. The passive income machine. The little robot store that works while you are on the beach. It is not that simple. And the reason has almost nothing to do with the snacks, or the machine, or the markup. It comes down to the few square feet of floor that machine is standing on, and one number attached to that spot that changes everything. So let us open the whole ledger. What a vending machine actually earns, why two identical machines can be worlds apart, and why the moment you buy the machine first, you have very likely already lost. Start with getting in, because on paper it is one of the cheapest businesses there is. A brand new snack or drink machine runs somewhere around $4,000 to $5,000, and many suppliers will finance it, so you can start with almost nothing down and a monthly payment near $100. Buy used, and you can cut that cost by 40 to 60%. You can start with one machine as a side hustle, or buy a whole existing route of machines already placed and running. So the barrier to entry is refreshingly low. Almost anyone can afford a machine, and that low barrier is exactly why so many people rush in without understanding what they are actually getting into. Cheap to enter is not the same as easy to win. But here is the thing the machine sellers do not put in the brochure. Honestly, the machine is the easy part. It is not the business at all. What you are really buying is the location. A vending machine is worth nothing sitting in your garage. It is a heavy metal box slowly losing value, nothing more. It only makes money when it is bolted to the floor in a spot crawling with hungry, thirsty people who forgot to bring their own snacks. And those spots, the best ones, are hard to get, fiercely fought over, and often already taken by someone else. So there are clear tiers to this. The single machine hobbyist, hoping for a little side money. The small operator with a handful of machines on a route. The serious operator running 20, 30, or more machines across a tight cluster of locations, and the big regional company with hundreds. But at every tier, look at what actually determines success. Not the machine, not even the snacks. The quality of the locations you manage to lock down. You are not really buying a machine. You are buying a spot, and the machine is just the register you put in it. When you place that machine, you inherit a very specific set of realities. First, you inherit the location relationship, and it rules everything. In almost every good spot, the property owner wants a cut, a commission on your sales, usually somewhere from 5 to as much as 30% of the gross, depending on how badly you want that location. And that relationship is fragile. The owner can kick you out, or let a competitor come in and offer them a bigger cut next year. You do not own your best spots. You rent them at the landlord's mercy. Your single most valuable business relationship is with a property owner who can end it whenever they like. Second, you inherit the route. This is the part nobody sees. Every machine has to be restocked, and that means driving to it, over and over. Its real cost is not the snacks. It is what operators call windshield time. The hours you spend behind the wheel, driving from machine to machine, hauling boxes of soda, before you have made a single sale. A machine 30 minutes away that needs a weekly refill is an hour of driving every week, forever. Multiply that across a scattered route, and your evenings and weekends quietly disappear behind a windshield. Third, you inherit the breakage and the cash. Machines jam. They eat a customer's money at 11 at night and generate an angry phone call and a refund the next morning. Bill acceptors fail. You handle coins and cash by hand, or you pay 2 to 4% on every single card swipe, and you set aside a repair fund, roughly $100 to $300 per machine every year, for the day the compressor dies. And fourth, you inherit the truth that your income is set almost entirely by something you only half control: location quality. Hold that, because it is the whole game. A vending operation has a few income streams, and understanding them is the difference between profit and a garage full of dead machines. Layer 1. The product sale. Somebody puts in money, a snack drops, and you earn the spread between what the item cost you and what you charged. Product cost usually runs 40 to 60% of the sale price, so your gross margin per item is strong, often 50 to 70%. This is the engine, but on its own it means nothing without volume. A 70% margin on zero sales is still zero. And volume comes from one thing only: location. Layer 2. The markup game. The smart operator does not just sell cheap candy. They stock the right mix for that specific spot: higher priced drinks, energy products, and premium items in the places that will pay for them, squeezing more gross profit out of the same machine and the same floor space. Layer 3. Route density. This is where real money hides. One machine 30 minutes from your house is a chore, but 5 machines within a mile of each other turn one driving trip into 5 collections. Tighten your cluster of locations, and you cut the windshield time per dollar, and the more the whole thing starts to actually pay. Density, not machine count, is the secret. 3 machines packed into one office park can quietly out-earn 15 scattered across a whole city once you count the driving. Layer 4. The specialty play. Beyond chips and soda, some operators run machines for high-margin niche products, and the margins on the right specialty item can dwarf a bag of chips. That product changes, but the rule does not. Location still decides everything. Layer 5. And this is the real asset you are building. A portfolio of great locations, a route of machines sitting in really good locked-in spots, is a real, sellable business. People buy and sell established vending routes precisely because a proven location that reliably prints cash is worth far more than the used machine sitting in it. You are not selling steel and glass. You are selling the traffic that walks past it. Here is the single most important fact in this entire business, and almost every beginner learns it too late. Snacks are not the business. The machine is not the business. Location is the business. The exact same machine, stocked with the exact same chips, at the exact same prices, can earn $75 a month in a quiet office lobby, or $7,500 a month in a busy hospital or factory. Same machine, same snacks, 100 times the money. Sit with how insane that is for a second. One thing changed: the floor it was standing on. Listen to that again. One machine, $75. The identical machine, $7,500. And the entire difference in this business, the line between a fortune and a dead loss, is not your product or your pricing or your machine. It is the traffic walking past that specific spot. You are not really selling snacks. You are renting foot traffic, and the snacks are just how you collect the rent. Get the traffic right, and almost any product sells. Get it wrong, and the finest snacks in the world sit there going stale. Once that clicks, the whole business flips. You stop obsessing over machines and start obsessing over locations, because the location is the only thing that was ever going to make you rich or broke. Turn the page to what leaves the account, because plenty of hands reach into that coin box before you. Start with the product itself. 40 to 60% of every dollar gone to restocking the snacks you sold. Then the location commission, 5 to 30% of gross, handed straight to the property owner. Then the card processing fees, 2 to 4% on every cashless tap. Then fuel and vehicle wear, the cost of all that windshield time driving your route. Then the maintenance reserve for jams and breakdowns, and the software some operators pay for to track it all. Now watch what that does. A machine grosses $600 in a month. That looks great. But take out roughly half for product. Take out the locations cut. Take out the card fees and the fuel and the repair reserve, and that $600 in sales might leave you $200, maybe $300 in actual profit. In a great location, a well-run machine nets a few $100s a month, quietly and reliably. In a weak one, after all those same costs, it can net as little as $50 to $150, barely enough to bother driving out there. So the shape of the ledger is this, and it is worth burning into memory. The gross margins look fantastic, but by the time the product, the landlord, the card company, and your gas tank each take their share, the real profit per machine is modest, and it lives or dies entirely on how much traffic that one location brings. That is why this is a volume game. One machine is a hobby. A route of good machines, in good spots, is a real business. Here is the trap, and it has swallowed more hopeful vending owners than anything else. It is the word passive. This whole business is sold as passive income, a money printer that runs while you sleep. Buy the machine, drop it somewhere, collect the cash, live free. And that fantasy is exactly what gets people hurt. Because vending is not passive. It is a small business with real hours and real ways to lose money. That machine that eats a customer's $2 at 11 at night does not care that you are asleep. It just created a refund and a complaint you will deal with tomorrow morning. Whether you feel like it or not, there is restocking, driving, cash handling, jams, and repairs every single week. It is not a lot of hours if the route is tight, but it is never zero, and the day you ignore it is the day the machines sit empty and dead. But the deepest version of the trap is the order people do it in. They fall in love with the machine, so they buy the machine first. Then, machine already sitting in the garage, they go looking for somewhere to put it, and they take whatever weak location they can find. A slow office lobby, a quiet waiting room. And that machine pulls $400 a month, barely breaks even after costs, and by month 6 they have quit, and they sell the barely used machine to the next dreamer at a loss. Buying the machine before you have secured a great location is the single most common way to lose in this business. The machine feels like the exciting part, so people buy it first, and then quietly discover the exciting part was never where the money lived. Winners do it in the exact opposite order. Location first, always. To understand this business, you have to go back almost 2,000 years to a Greek engineer named Hero of Alexandria. Around the 1st century, in Roman Egypt, temples had a problem. Worshippers were taking more than their fair share of holy water. So Hero, one of the great inventors of the ancient world, designed a solution that was, in every meaningful way, the very first vending machine. You dropped a coin into a slot at the top. A dropped coin fell onto a small pan connected to a lever. That weight tipped the lever, which opened a valve, and a measured amount of holy water poured out. As the coin slid off the pan, the lever fell back and the valve shut. One coin in, one precise pour out. A machine that took a payment and dispensed a product, built almost 2,000 years ago. Then the idea slept for centuries. It came roaring back in the 1800s. In 1883, an Englishman built the first modern commercial vending machine, dispensing postcards. And a few years later, in 1888, in New York City, the Thomas Adams Gum Company put the first vending machines in America onto the elevated train platforms, selling Tutti Frutti chewing gum to commuters. From holy water to Subway gum to the machine in your office hallway, the core idea has never changed in 2,000 years. Only the product in the glass is different. Put the product where the people already are, and let the machine quietly make the sale. So watch what happens when someone sells the fantasy of this business instead of the reality of it. For decades, the passive income dream of vending has been the perfect bait for a very specific kind of scam. Here is how it worked. In one of the biggest cases ever prosecuted, a company advertised nationwide, in newspapers and online, promising a turnkey vending business. Pay us, they said, and we will give you the machines, the candy, and, most importantly, we will find you great, high-traffic locations. Their salespeople claimed to run their own thriving vending routes. It sounded like the dream, handed to you complete. The typical customer paid about $10,000 for one of these vending business opportunities. And then the reality arrived. The locating companies that were supposed to find those golden spots had no special skill at all. They dumped the machines wherever they could, as fast as they could, often in businesses that had never agreed to host a machine and that immediately demanded they be hauled away. The machines generated almost nothing, and the customers, thousands of them across the country, lost nearly every dollar they had put in. Eventually, a federal grand jury indicted 10 people connected to the scheme for defrauding those thousands of victims. The company was eventually shut down, but the money was long gone. And here is the part that should stay with you. This is not ancient history. Just recently, prosecutors charged a man with running a Ponzi scheme built around water vending machines, machines that in many cases did not even exist, that took investors for more than $200 million. And the lesson is brutal and simple. The passive income story is the most dangerous thing about this business. The moment someone promises you the machines will do the work and the locations will take care of themselves, you are not looking at a business. You are looking at the bait. So who actually wins at vending, and how? Survivors understand exactly what they are really in the business of. 1. Location first, always. They never buy a machine hoping to find a home for it. They secure a great, high-traffic location first, with a signed agreement, and only then put a machine in it. They walk in and pitch the decision-maker themselves, rather than paying a locator $400 for a spot that may be worthless. 2. They build density. They cluster their machines close together, so one driving route services many machines, slashing the windshield time that quietly eats every vending profit. 3. They run it like a business, not a lottery ticket. They track what sells in each slot of each machine, they cut the dead locations fast, and they restock based on real data, not hope. 4. They use technology, cashless card readers to capture the customers who carry no cash, and remote monitoring so they know a machine is empty or jammed without driving out to check. And 5. They treat the good locations as the treasure they are. They build and protect a portfolio of premium spots, because that portfolio, not the machines, is the actual asset, and it is what they can eventually sell. None of that is about loving snacks or gadgets. It is location, density, real tracking, and protected spots. In a business where the same machine can earn $75 or $7,000, that discipline is the entire difference. So does owning vending machines actually work? Let us run it, and treat this as a model, not a real company. You build a route of 25 machines, patiently, over a couple of years, placing each one only in a really good, high-traffic location with a fair commission deal. You cluster them into tight routes to keep your driving down to a minimum. You track your sales and swap out the losers. In a good setup like that, a route of 25 solid machines can net somewhere between $1,200 and $3,000 a month, and it runs on a few hours of restocking a week. That is a real, semi-passive income, and the whole route is an asset you could sell. That is the good version. Now the other one. You saw an ad promising easy passive money. You bought a machine, or 5, up front. You could not find great locations, so you settled for weak ones. Your machines pull only a few $100s each at best. The commissions and fuel and repairs eat most of it, and you are spending your weekends driving an hour each way to refill a machine that nets you $80. By month 6, you are done, selling your machines to the next hopeful buyer for a fraction of what you paid. But here is the real verdict. A vending machine is not a passive money printer. It is a tiny retail business whose entire fate is decided before you sell a single snack, by the quality of the location you put it in and the discipline you bring to the route. Winners treated it as a location business and a logistics business that happens to involve snacks. Losers treated it as a magic box, and the magic box quietly ate their savings. So the honest answer is this. In the right hands, with premium locations secured first, tight routes, and real discipline, vending is a legitimately good, semi-passive business, and one of the cheapest real businesses anyone can start. But sold as effortless passive income, it is a trap that has cost countless people their savings, because the machine was never the business. The floor it stands on always was. So look again at what you were really buying, not a machine, not a money printer, not a robot that earns while you sleep. That is the fantasy, and it is the fantasy that empties bank accounts. You were buying a spot. That is all. A spot. A few square feet of floor in a river of foot traffic, with just a machine sitting on it as the register. Everything that matters, whether you get rich or go broke, was decided by the quality of that spot and the miles you were willing to drive to keep it stocked. Those snacks were never the point. The location was the entire business, hiding in plain sight behind a bag of chips. A vending machine does not really make its money selling chips. It makes it on the location. The same machine that earns $75 in a quiet lobby earns $7,000 in the right hallway, and the only thing that changed was the floor it stood on. You are not buying a machine, you are buying a spot. The snacks are just what you happen to load into the register.